Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I thought it'd be a little bit fun to show one of my traveler's notebook insets. So this one, I think this came with the Have a Nice Trip Fly with Travelers Airlines limited edition, the one that I'm using for my EDC this year. This one. Yeah, I think they came in the same pack. Anyways, so this one is detailing my trip to Australia last year when I graduated. Yeah. So for context, I'm born and raised in Australia, in Sydney specifically, and I moved to the Netherlands almost 2 years ago. Yeah, around 2 years ago now. And last year, for that trip, it was the last time I visited my hometown. But I went with my partner and his family this time, so that they can meet my family. And then we did a little bit of interstate traveling as well. So yeah, I'll just get started and show you guys how I decorate or how I journal my trips, which is not so it's very experimental. I also get really excited in the beginning, and then I kind of get a bit lazy towards the end. So maybe you can see later on that maybe the effort is not so sustained as we get close. Yeah. So I flew through, I don't remember which airline I took. Does it say here? No, I think I went with Korean Air or KLM. Anyway, one of those. And I flew through. No, I flew with Cathay Pacific coming back. But going there, I went with, it must be KLM and another airline. I don't remember. But anyway, because there's no direct flights from Amsterdam to Sydney. And I ate nasi lemak at the Kuala Lumpur airport, which is one of my favorite Malaysian foods ever. So anytime I can get a chance to eat it, I'm eating it. Let's keep going. Yeah. I'm gonna blur out images where you can see my friends, but by the time I came back last year, the Sydney Metro had just opened, and some fun, interesting facts about me is that I'm a rail nerd. I'm a rail fan, and I really love all things trains, metros, subways. I don't want to call it a special interest, but it's really been one of my main hobbies or things that I'm really interested in. So I was really excited when the Sydney Metro Chatswood to Sydenham line opened. I live pretty close to the metro actually, back in Sydney, so it was really exciting to see the extension open when I arrived. So that was fun, and they were handing out pamphlets, which was so fun. I love a good pamphlet to stick in, and it's just nice to see. This is the extension. Sorry. So previously it was Tallawong to Chatswood, and now they extended it to go all the way to Sydenham, which is so fun because I rode this part quite often during my trip while I was in Sydney. It was really easy to go to Crow's Nest, Waterloo. Like there's lots of nice restaurants in Crow's Nest, for example, and having that opened up by metro was a lot easier for access. But yeah, I love a good rail network, a rail map. So I thought it would be fitting to put in my inset, and just some information about the metro. Yeah, they were handing these out on the day it opened, I think, or the day after, because I think it hadn't opened yet, maybe when I arrived. I could be lying though. But yeah, I love a good photo of the opera house. I may be biased because I lived in Sydney most of my life, but I think it's the best city in the world, and I love I love my hometown. So I always love taking photos of the opera house. And then we went on a trip. So we flew to Hobart, and then we were there for a few days. Honestly, I don't even think it was that long, maybe 2 days. I wish I stayed longer, but yeah, we weren't there for very long, which was a shame. We went to Bruny Island on the day that we arrived. This is a pamphlet. Can I open it? Oh, I can. Okay, it's a really big pamphlet, so I won't open it up the whole way, but you can see there's, when you open it up, there's a gigantic travel map of the island. Highly recommend. It's really nice. We barely did the day trip for this, and I highly recommend dedicating a day if you can, a full day. This is where we stayed. It was a nice apartment style hotel. Really recommend it, and it was close to the harbor, but I mean, Hobart's pretty small. Most things are on the harbor, so that was nice. Yeah, I got a little postcard on Bruny Island. The thing is about this postcard, when I like to buy postcards, I want to buy things that I've seen, but because we saw so little of Bruny Island when we went, I couldn't find an appropriate postcard, so I dismissed my rule just this one time and just bought some nice views of like Bruny Island. Just wrote about my day. I'm trying to do more drawings. I always try to start and then I'm like, okay, I'll just do the outline first and then I'll color it in and, you know, make it all nice later. Yeah, I'll get to it sometime, you know. We did a day trip for Mona, of course. It was such a really interesting museum because it's a private museum, and I really love art, but it was such a odd and random assortment of artworks put together. But it was really intriguing. Like, I highly recommend if you ever come to Australia and you have Hobart on your list, I think Mona should definitely be a museum you go to, because if it's a bit absurd going into it, and you should really download their app when you go so that you can read about all the artworks and notes from the founder or like the owner of the museum. It's very interesting, to say the least. I have a lot of thoughts about it, but maybe I won't share here just yet. Yeah, Mona highlights. Yeah, I was writing down which ones really spoke to me when I was there. So the Weeping Woman, the Supersymmetry, Psychedelic Renoir, and Young Woman. The Weeping Woman, I don't have all the time in the world to explain this video, but basically I ended up seeing the replica of what the Weeping Woman was painted off by, oh my gosh, was it Picasso? Yeah, Picasso, in Melbourne, and you'll see it later. But yeah, went to is it Van Diemen's Land Creamery, which is funny because it's Dutch, so I thought, you know, haha, Tasmania used to be called Van Diemen's Land, and I live in the Netherlands now, haha, Dutch. Cute connection. But yeah, and then we just visited Port Arthur on the final day before taking a plane to go to Melbourne, or Naarm, which is the indigenous name. I had so many plans and there were so many things I wanted to do in Melbourne. I've been to Melbourne once before, which is kind of a shame considering I've lived in Australia my whole life, and Melbourne is really, I feel like city-wise, it has more to offer than Sydney, which is, like, I can very readily admit that Melbourne, culture-wise, is a lot better and much more exciting than Sydney, but I think both cities have different things to offer, so I'm very much, one is not better than the other in its entirety, but both have, you know, things that the other city doesn't have. But I really love Melbourne. Like, as a Sydney sider, I can super fully admit that I'm also a Melbourne lover. But yeah, I traveled quite a bit. We ate a lot of nice food. I mostly was missing Japanese food when I was or when I'm here in the Netherlands. And Australia really does Japanese food like excellently. And the fusions and the thoughtfulness of the menu is much more is more expressed, if I articulated that correctly. Yeah, so obviously went to the state library. We got a private tour by one of the staff because my partner's mum is an archivist slash librarian, so she asked one of the staff there for like a private tour, which was very fun. Yeah, went to NGV, which is where I saw, yeah, this is the original Picasso, and if you see I wrote here, The Weeping Woman, this was painted to be like a replica of this, but there was some things, but I don't remember exactly. But if you read up on it, it's such an interesting story. Yeah, we also had hot pot. It's really fun. Oh yeah, I found one of those free pamphlets at the airport when we landed, and I thought it'd be nice to stick a little map. I love a little map here in the book. I also wanted to outline everywhere that I walked in Melbourne here, but I haven't gotten around to it. I mean, it's been like a billion months since I made this, but I'll get around to it. I haven't forgotten. Yeah. And then we decided to do a little road trip and go from Melbourne through Canberra back to Sydney. So we went to Beechworth as one of the in-between points. It's in between, or it's in Victoria, so it's on the way to New South Wales. And it's a very nice country town. I think it's one of the most well-preserved towns in Australia, I think, because you can really feel the historicity, the historicness. I'm not sure what the exact word. They've kept the historic architecture and everything about it. And we also went to a little cute tea store, which was run by one lady, and there was 4 of us, and she had to serve us, and I felt kind of bad because it seemed like she was overwhelmed, but yeah, it was a very nice tea place. Highly recommend it. It was called Moments and Memories Tea Room. Yeah. We really only stayed for the night, and then explored a little bit, and then headed off to Canberra. And we also visited the NGA, which is also one of my favorite museums in Australia. They have really good exhibitions. It's just kind of a pain in the ass to travel to. And it's like a 3-hour drive from Sydney, which is very doable, but I don't like driving. So no, but they had a really good exhibition on Gauguin, and we found out that Gauguin's really famous, right? But this was more focused on his interest in the Pacific. And there was some very interesting / maybe could be construed as problematic things as well. But yeah, anyway, which European painter isn't a little bit problematic, I suppose. And there were some really beautiful artworks. You can see Gauguin wasn't really a good person, by the way. Yeah. Also I've been to, a really long time ago, I saw a Gordon Bennett exhibition and was exposed to his works for the first time when I visited Brisbane a really long time ago. And I was really touched by his style of artwork, and I always kind of imagined and thought that there's some similarities to Basquiat. And it turns out at NGA, this one notes to Basquiat, Death of Irony, that like there was actually a direct connection to Basquiat in his paintings. So that was really cool. Yeah, just a map of NGA, nothing special, but I really like putting maps just because I like bulk, especially when I'm traveling, and it's nice to, it's kind of like a snapshot in time of the museum, because you know things change in museums, stuff comes in and out, so you can really see what that museum was about. I have around 6 minutes of filming left. Oh, sorry about that. That was a text message. Please ignore the sound. Yeah, we ate at Akiba in Canberra. It was really nice. It was kind of like an Asian fusion. I'm usually really hesitant about Asian fusion restaurants, but I just really wanted to eat Asian food. And there was not really, I was trying to find something, because I think we went on like a Friday night and we're trying to find somewhere to eat that wasn't fully booked. But it was really good. I was really surprised. I really liked it. Yeah, I went to this ice cream place that opened up just to try it, because it's a Filipino brand chain. It was all right. It's just ice cream. And then I was just hanging out with my friends. I have a gacha page. I got a lot of gacha when I was in Sydney. I really wanted the melon soda one for this one, but I ended up getting literally every single one except for melon soda, and I did not want to. It was $5 per, and I had gotten dupes. Like, I think I got the grape. What is this? Yeah, grape soda, like twice. My friend gave me a sticker pack, or she gave me some stickers, which was really fun, from Sunny Angel, and then I found out you could buy the sticker packs at not W Cosmetics, but the other store. I'll put it here. If you're from Sydney or Australia, you can probably buy it online from there. Yeah, and just some other cute things. Yeah, there was a lot of Mofusan things, so I got a lot of Mofusan. Gotcha. I'm not happy with how I just kind of wanted to stick all of the papers that you got somewhere. I'm not proud of this. I kind of hate it, but we'll keep it in. Yeah, this one is unfinished. I was lucky enough to be in Sydney for the Leve Book Club drop at Dimmock, so I was able to get the bookmarks and stuff. I really wanted the tote bag, but it was sold out. But yeah, very cute. I miss eating good food. Yeah, this is one of my favorite Japanese cafes, Japanese desert cafes in Sydney, Matchaya. If you live in Sydney, you've probably heard of it. But yeah. This is a spread of me and my friends. I stayed over at her place, and she's one of my closest friends, actually. So I did a little staycation at her place, and we just ate at a bunch of Japanese restaurants. It was really fun. Yeah, I tried a bunch of new places that I've been wanting to try, like Akipan. We also ate at Sang, which was also really good. I really like this spread, actually. I'm gonna have to blur this out a bajillion times, but all good. We also did Japanese head spa. I've never done Japanese head spa before, but I really liked it, at least at this place, and it was more affordable, because I think the range and the price really differ from how popular the salon is, but this one was on the cheaper side, and I had a really good time. I managed to speak some Japanese during then, which is always exciting because I like practicing it. So I highly recommend it. I got it from ZZZ Head Spa in like Surrey Hills or somewhere around there, like Haymarket. Yeah. There was also oh my gosh, I really don't want to mispronounce the name. So Alphonse Mucha. Okay, I'm not gonna even. I should look it up. I should have looked it up before making this video. But really good exhibition on Art Nouveau. I think that's how you pronounce it. So that was really great. Highly recommend. And this was just kind of like the last few days of my trip. My partner and his family had already left by then because they had only planned to stay for 3 weeks. I stayed for an extra week. And I was just going to a bunch of places to eat that were on my list because moving away from Sydney has been really hard in terms of finding great places to eat and food that I like eating, at least in Amsterdam, because most of the food that I like is Asian food. Yeah. So these were kind of the highlights. This Yeongshik was so good, and I wish I could go again. I'm moving back to Sydney anyways, so I can experience it again. But this is it. I'm also approaching my time limit for my storage, so I'm gonna wrap up really quickly. But this was the last page. I went to the botanical gardens, which was really fun. It was nice being with my family on the last day and just hanging around and being in Sydney nature. But yeah, that's kind of a flip through of my Australian trip from last year, my graduation gift. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be doing more videos and maybe doing more flip throughs of other trips, but let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you next time. Thanks guys. Bye bye.